on mine. Oh, there she is.
We're getting
TJ, move
man.
Move in.
Here you go. You have to
Low,
maybe
what does
straddle
that even
over.
mean on mine? I can't even see it.
Low network connection. So do you just want to record video?
Just hit cancel.
It's never done that before.
I know that's a new one.
Ooh, that's
There we go. She's connected.
Is she? Okay.
Yep. Hi everybody.
Why is mine always so far away?
I don't. It's because you don't have.
Because you're on Android.
Yeah, you have an Android.
Yeah,
We have this discussion every time.
This is pretty much the
Look
beginning
at
of
we're
Wine
like all
Wednesday
over the
every time.
place. It's always a discussion.
I wish that people could see like the production this is from the other side.
I know.
I know.
Where to look.
Oh wait.
Just look wherever
You know what I
want.
can do?
You can pick your own.
Oh. And I haven't gotten notification that I'm
Ooh,
on yet.
don't try to crop out the wine bottles in the.
Oh, Wayne phone call.
There. I'll save the picture.
Well, I'm not even on a network. Like, I'm on.
What do you mean you're not on a network?
Oh,
I'm
my
on
video
Verizon.
stopped.
Like, I'm not even.
What?
Oh, you're not connected to the internet?
No. That's why I don't understand why I did that.
Amanda's got people jumping in here.
Hold on.
Hi,
I
everyone.
can't see that far away.
That's why I
Aaron,
have this here.
Aaron Glokowski, maybe? Brandon Lay. Got some people
Oh,
to say hi
golly. See, that's what happens then.
to. See, that's what we were talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes. All right. Am I? Oh, there we
Push her
go.
down a little bit. I feel like there's a whole lot of Mac in there. Not so much us. Hey, Jess. What's going on? Oh.
Maybe not that much. Is that
There we
okay?
go. That's
All right.
good.
Well, shall we breathe and
Yeah.
start?
Let's-
Cheers.
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 How's
Here's to
everyone?
another edition of Wine Wednesday. And water.
And water.
I just don't even know where to look.
I know. There's
that's
a lot of cameras happening.
What
Just
is-
look straight forward.
This is almost like 270 Tuesday, which I'm thinking we might have to do on Thursdays.
Doesn't
We
have the
just don't
same
have time
name.
on Tuesdays.
Oh no, mine's fidgeting.
It's just
There we
really
go.
hard.
Um,
Hey, Brent.
so today
Mm-hmm.
we're going to discuss and talk about, you know, I like to throw out fancy homes on Facebook just because they're fun to look at.
Yeah.
But today we're going to be realistic and we're going to talk about homes
Yes.
that you can buy in Central Ohio for under $200,000.
What?
You know what we should have done?
Hmm.
Just get on your, do you have a mortgage calculator on your phone?
I'm afraid to use it now because that's what I'm using as my hotspot. and last time it shut off my broadcast.
I don't know.
Do
if
you
I'm
have
right
a
or
good one?
not.
I can pull it up here.
Just go
You
to
can
PD
Google.
calculator. Oh yeah,
You know,
there's
Google,
this thing called Google.
I've heard, is a
I
really
can
great
fix a lot of your
source.
problems.
It's been the theme for today.
That's
really.
Amanda's
Yeah,
tip for the
Google.
day. we should always have an Amanda tip for the day.
Amanda's tip for the day is
So no pressure, but come
Google.
up with Google. Google.
yeah, get on Google.
Google is a good way to find out
So I
information.
don't think I'm live. Am I live? Because it's
Yeah, you're
circling
live.
like that.
Oh no, up there?
See how it's circling in the middle of the screen?
I don't know. I think that you're trying. I think it's trying to connect. So
All
I
right,
think that's
well,
the part where you
okay,
just let it
here's
go.
one. So what are we figuring
Let it
out?
go.
200.
Yeah. What's the mortgage payment?
Hey,
generally
Jamie or
speaking?
Jasmine. Sorry, hi
Wow.
Jasmine.
That's not very much at all, is it? Who wants to guess? Who wants to guess at how much for a 30-year loan?
Good. Go.
Your mortgage payment, not taxes, just
Taxes and insurance isn't included.
no, just the
So fourth
Principal
grade.
and
Principal and interest.
interest rate is 3.92. Anyone?
I'm gonna make up a number. 450.
No,
Whoa,
a little
you're
bit
way
higher.
low. I'm way low.
Yeah,
850.
a little bit.
You're getting
higher.
warmer.
Oh, good lord, just tell me.
$946
Yes.
a month.
So how much money, if you're renting right now, do you pay in rent? Do you pay more than that?
Probably you're paying more
I would
than
say
that.
average is at least
At least
1,000
50.
to 1,200.
I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's on the low.
I've got a lot
For
of
a one
people-
bedroom, probably.
Oh,
And you don't have a yard or probably a garage or any of that.
Right.
Right.
oh, with PNC, the mortgage payment is $875.
Ooh.
Thank you, Jess.
Nice little plug.
So, just,
I
you
can-
know, what that says is different lenders.
Right.
It can be
Well,
different.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, and your down payment's going to affect that too.
You know, and on a $200,000 house in Central Ohio, your taxes are probably going to be what, like $3,000, $4,000?
Yeah, it definitely depends on the area.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to depend on the area, but ranging on average probably between $3,000 and $4,000. So that's going to add, you know, about let's say $300 for
Interesting.
taxes. So $300 on your taxes. You'll have insurance, which on that amount of home, maybe $600-700.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For the
So
year.
maybe another $50. So when we talk about the payment, we're only talking about principal and interest, and we have to disclose that 3.92%.
On the mortgage
On the
calculator.
mortgage. So I
From
mean,
Google.
you're looking at under or around $1,300. So most people are already paying more than that if you're
Yeah.
renting.
Yes.
And then if
Easily.
you factor in other financial benefits, you can, as of now, I don't know what's going to happen with tax reform, but as of now, you can deduct your taxes and your insurance and your points, from when you purchase. So there's other financial benefits. So you can then probably itemize your deductions, get a bigger return. So it actually, if you factor into your taxes
Mhm.
and what you do with what you claim at your employer, it might actually increase your take-home pay. Because you could increase but talk to an accountant, talk to a financial
Yes.
person, but you might be able to increase how much money you take home on a weekly basis. Because now you're able to itemize and you can change the number, you're claiming and that kind of stuff. So talk to an accountant, see how that all works for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond being cheaper than rent, you're saving yourself money in other ways.
Right. Well, and you're actually investing. You're actually
In
putting
your-
money where it'll reinvest itself.
Right.
You're dropping money in rent. You're literally just throwing money out the window, and you're never going to see that money back. If you're putting it into a mortgage, you're going to see that money back, hopefully.
Well, yeah, you're
when you sell your home.
Well, you're building equity every month by, part of that, when we say principal and interest, principal means the amount that goes towards how much you owe on your loan. Interest is going straight to the bank. And unfortunately, early on, they're heavily weighted. This much is going to your principal and this much is going to the bank. But, it evens out over time. And then home prices are going up. So
Right.
you're making money. It's a solid financial investment, I believe.
Yeah.
Real estate.
Yes.
Real estate.
Yes.
Well, what I always tell people, either way, you have a house payment, so why not invest in yourself
Exactly.
rather?
Right.
I mean, you're paying someone's mortgage.
Yeah, you're paying
Might
someone
not be
Might
else.
as well pay your
Might
own.
as well be you.
Right? Yeah.
Good point. Good
Thank
point.
you.
So why don't we hop right into some different areas here?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna share my screen, not to discourage you from being on the others, and we got this beautiful map behind us, so we'll point. But I've got a little MLS
Some
search. I'm gonna
time.
get inappropriately close for just a second. I apologize.
My video keeps cutting out.
Well, I thought I was gonna
It's
share my
that
screen.
kind of
Where did
day.
that go? Where did that option go? Okay, I'm not gonna share my screen. There was
Well, I
a-
happen to have the MLS pulled up, so.
well, when I did this before, there was an option to share my screen. I guess I had to do that from the beginning. Anyways, so there are several areas. I mean, pretty much around Central Ohio, with some exceptions, you can get a home for under $200,000. But there are concentrated pockets where there are more opportunities than others. So that's what we're going to focus on.
Yeah.
Here. So Jenny, throw out an area for us. Where's a good $200,000 area? Like maybe down in that south.
I tend to find it's east side, it's northwest side of Columbus tends to be a little bit less square footage for your money.
Absolutely.
So where this map kind of shows a heavy concentration is definitely south of 70.
Mm-hmm.
The upper east side of Seba. So, if you imagine 71 and 70 dividing into quarters, it's those 3 quarters.
Yep.
There are, looking at this map, probably 12 houses on the northwest quarter for 200,000 and below. So, and,
4 specifically in Dublin and Powell.
yeah, and this
So
is
that's not
everything
your
I have.
ideal area.
Right,
If
yeah.
that's your budget.
If that's your budget. Now, these are single family homes, not condos, and I do have everything thrown in there. So there's distressed and
What about even Blacklick area?
Blacklick. Yeah,
It's great for first time home buyers.
it's
Absolutely.
great. I love
Oh, yeah.
Blacklick.
Blacklick, Reynoldsburg,
So
those
that's-
areas.
Yeah, right here. I'm here. Which you guys all can't see that, but Amanda can. So it's here.
Sorry guys, I'm inappropriately close again.
The beauty of Facebook Live.
So, if we're looking at the map behind us, this is east.
It's where my head is.
So as everybody know, everybody kind of knows where Blacklick is, right?
Mhm.
Like outside 270 east of Columbus, about a 15-20 minute drive from downtown, probably.
Mhm.
Would you say?
I think so.
The beauty of Columbus is everything is about 15-20 minute drive.
Right.
You know, construction and traffic, you know, barring
Yeah,
that, usually
barring
you
all
get
that.
somewhere with 15 minutes.
To get into the city is usually a good 15-minute drive.
Yep.
Easy. Oh, Galloway too. Yeah, Jess Mott was saying the 43119 area too is a fantastic area for.
And I know there's a pocket
That as
where
well.
I live in Gahanna that has some houses.
So off of, it's a Cherry Bottom Road, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on the Cherry
Yeah.
Bottom, so I would say the Stigler Road area.
Mhm.
It's a nice little.
So are you
pocket.
43230 there?
Yes.
Because there's also, was it 43219, right around there, kind of closer to the
I think that's
airport
like
in
closer to
between?
like, yeah, and then Easton as well.
Uh-huh,
changes.
Easton, yep.
Mhm.
So on the, yeah, so you're outside 270 and then
Which
43219
also
would
the
be.
little area off of Dempsey in Westerville has
Uh-huh.
a lot of houses.
There it is.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. 161.
Mhm.
Yep.
Inside 270, you've got Westgate Park, which is my neighborhood. We've actually had some houses go for almost $200,000 in Westgate recently, but everything's below. I don't think I've seen. There may have been one or two things that went for more than two.
People are probably so tired about me talking about Westgate, but I lived there for 10 years. It was where we bought our first house. And I have to tell you, I mean, this is what our agent, I wasn't licensed at the time, and our agent, you know, we started in Clintonville, you know.
Looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously was, you know, Clintonville even then was out of our budget.
Yeah.
And now it would have been way out of our budget. But so she's like, are you open to other areas? I'm sure, you know, take us, you know, wherever we, you know.
Mhm.
So she took us to Westgate. Now I grew up in Columbus. And so as soon as she said West Side, I'm like, no, I'm not going.
Which isn't that funny.
But I tell you, we started looking in Westgate, and what you get for your money, and it is such a
Yeah.
nice little community,
Mm-hmm.
you really do get a lot for your money. I mean, you can buy a house there for under $100 a foot, or
Oh,
around
yeah.
Right.
$100 a foot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where you'll the same type of house and kind of house you'll get in Clintonville for $200, you know, a square
Yeah.
foot. So a lot for your money, and it's a strong community, strong neighborhood groups, block watch,
Mhm.
association, all that stuff. It is a wonderful first time.
And it's been
buyer.
great resale value
Yes.
too.
And
Lately, prices have gone nuts
Yeah.
there.
And they're
But
well
still under 200.
They're well constructed homes. You know, back in the 40s, you know, they actually not
Use
just
steel beams and
steel beams, real wood, solid wood
Floors.
subfloors, solid wood floors. You know, your kitchen may be a little outdated, but that's easy. But
Well-
you can't get that solid type of construction. And I don't see a lot of settling in the basements there. The basements tend to be dry. Most of you need to put in a sump pump, from what I've seen in the neighborhood.
You know what I learned, and this is actually from living in Westgate. You know how in a lot of those older neighborhoods, the front yard's not flat. There's like this hill that
Mhm.
goes up, and then the house is kind
Yeah.
of up on a little hill.
Mhm.
Do you know why that is?
No.
Drainage.
To save money back then, when they excavated for the foundation, they would just build up around the house, so they didn't haul
Oh.
the dirt away. So that's what made that hill was where the
Huh.
basement was, the dirt from the basement. So that's why a lot of times in those older neighborhoods
They
you'll
just
see
dumped
like
it
the
right
big,
there.
like a a
And
2
then
or 3
planted
foot
grass
hill.
on
That's
it.
That's exactly what they did.
They're gonna
Next one.
think they live on a hill, but
Yeah.
not so much.
So you know, and when you see that in Westgate, there was a few streets
That's
in
really
Westgate like that.
interesting. It's interesting how different areas too, like Westgate or the older neighborhoods, you see trends. Like you know, when you're looking in different older neighborhoods, you see what was. What I always think is when people, it tends to be they don't want the cookie cutter subdivision anymore,
Right.
which you know that's where I live in that typical Columbus 4x4 that was built in the 80s. And everybody wants the older style homes. However, with that, they also want what they see on TV is the big master owner suites with the huge bathrooms and walk-in closets. Well, that's not what you're going to find in those older
No.
construction homes. They are charming on the outside, but the inside might not
small closets.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The
People
closets
lived
are-
much differently back in the
I
day.
always wondered, what did they do with their clothes back then?
Well, they didn't
There
have
was
as many.
But the clothes were bigger. They actually dressed up.
Well,
you know, it's
right,
like
I
they
mean,
had
that's-
suits
I
instead
think-
of t-shirts, you know, and like.
But they would only have like 2 suits.
That's
I mean, it wasn't, you know,
Right.
the 80s really skewed our view of clothes and, you know,
Well,
brands
and
and,
TV,
yeah, like, I mean, just.
Well,
from-
back in the 80s, you just needed extra closet space for the shoulder pads.
Exactly, right. Yeah,
Extra
I
wide
think
closet.
depending on your generation or where you know, it's just not.
But you know, space-wise, it's not, I don't think, difficult to sort of retrofit for certain things, like closet space and whatnot.
And
I
you
mean,
adjust. I mean,
Yeah.
Absolutely,
adjust.
right.
I mean, we looked at our closets and they're small, but honestly, for our bedroom, what we use as our bedroom has 2 tiny closets. But I looked at it and measured it, and if we were to actually just cut open that opening, we could go to IKEA, one of my favorite places, and buy 2 of the wardrobes and literally just shove them into that space and
Yeah.
mount them into the back of the wall
Yeah.
and have huge useful closets.
I mean, and most people, when you're buying your starter home, your family isn't the size it's going to end, so you're
Mhm.
only using 1 or 2 of the bedrooms.
Use the bedroom as a closet.
Yeah, either as a
I've
closet
seen
or
that
use the
actually.
closet in the other
Yeah.
bedrooms.
Absolutely.
I
Um,
have seen that.
You know, you become resourceful. And look, I said this. I think you know we've all kind of said it. Whether your budget is 100,000 or $1 million, there's a compromise everywhere.
Mhm.
You know?
Right.
And in this, you know, usually it's room size or you know amenities or finishes in the house. Those are things that you can work with. You know, usually. So don't get locked into, you know, we've talked about how to, you know, be realistic and adjust your wish list and what's a need and a want. But in these starter neighborhoods, and that's what they are, you know, a lot of people move in, live 5 to 7 years, and then they buy something bigger or
Mhm.
just go to a different neighborhood. That's what we did. I mean, we just did
Yeah,
10
yeah.
instead of 5 to 7.
Yeah.
But, so in other areas, I mean, what's some other areas?
Yeah, so that's what I'm pulling up here.
Canal Winchester, I think. is a
Canal
good-
Winchester.
Canal's
is
a
a
great
good one.
area. I've just been, I think that as far as affordability, the east side definitely. I mean, it just is.
So in areas of Bexley.
Mhm.
Right.
South
yeah.
Bexley, you know, you can get, you know, more towards like Capitol and on south of Maine.
Mhm.
There are opportunities. And it's a great place to get in. You know, I mean, it's, whether it's school district that you're looking for or walkability, Bexley has those things to
Yeah.
offer.
Absolutely.
I think Reynoldsburg.
Reynoldsburg, I mean, yeah, and I mean, even close to their down, they've got a nice little downtown, and don't they have the tomato festival over?
Yeah, the Roseburg Tomato Festival. I've been
Who knows
to it.
about Reynoldsburg? Do you?
I don't.
I don't know about a tomato
Not
festival.
about a festival.
I know I've been out there a lot this year.
Yes.
I've done a lot on the east side.
There are lots of tomatoey things.
There's Sherry Bedford's out there. She lives in Reynoldsburg, I think.
Sherry
Now-
Bedford.
Now,
if
do you
you're
know,
watching.
in some of these neighborhoods too that we're talking about, you can get new builds for under 200.
Well, in Canal Winchester.
Well,
Canal
that's-
Winchester,
yeah.
Blacklick,
Abbey
you could-
Trails in Canal Winchester.
Mhm.
I sold a house there. A friend of mine who don't see on here, but a friend of mine purchased a house in Abbey Trails. And I looked today. There's 3 spec homes in Abbey Trails,
Who's this?
all under 200,000. Brand new house, no one's ever lived in. Now it's not like a new build
Oh.
where you're gonna go pick your
Makes sense.
finishes. That part's done. But
Well,
you
it's
get
back home. I mean, there's different. Yeah.
you can get a brand new house for under 200, which is amazing. I mean, there's really nowhere else in the city you could do that. I don't.
Right,
think.
no. No.
I think maybe there's a few other
Yeah.
pockets like
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
they're not common. You know, that neighborhood and a couple others are really the last of the kind. You know, I
Mhm.
think so. If that's what you're interested in, new builds. You know, if you don't like the idea of living where someone else has lived and you just want to start fresh, that's great.
And then you're going to get some of that feel that we were talking about that you're missing in the older homes, right? Like the open concept,
Bigger
the
closets.
bigger closets, an actual owner's suite, possibly with
Right.
an ensuite bath,
And the new home smell.
New carpet.
sawdust carpet and paint.
Hi, Aunt Judy.
One of
Right.
the areas too that I like is Grove City, and when
That
we
is
were
another good
visiting
area.
that
Glad you brought that up.
one of our 270 Tuesdays, which might be on a Thursday.
Yeah, we've been
There's a lot of
slacking.
pockets even in Grove City where you can find that nice affordable.
Yeah, more towards the
200 or
downtown
below.
and towards the high school where
Yeah.
there's there's a lot of ranch and kind of Cape Cod homes that were built, you know, in the
Yeah.
60s ish.
Obetz,
Obetz is a good place.
Groveport,
And
Marysville,
Obetz and
Marysville.
Groveport, that area, and actually Marysville's another.
There's a twist.
There's a twist. There's a twist, but I think Adena Point, which if Terry Lauder joins us from Fisher Homes, yeah, I don't know that it's probably right around 200 and a little above, but they've got a nice neighborhood out there for around 200.
Anybody want us to check any areas?
Yeah, tell us. Throw out some. Where do you want to live?
Throw out some. Where do you want
Yeah.
to live? I think what it, you know, so if someone, this might be a tough question. If someone is focused on schools, which the schools, the real high demand school areas people want, tend to be a higher price home, a little bit less for your square footage you're going to get. What would you suggest to them? As far as if they say they can only cap at 200 or below, but they really want, say, Olentangy schools.
Well, Hamilton Schools down here, we're talking about Groveport, Obetz. Hamilton Schools is a district I get a lot of requests for, and that's an area that's affordable. If you search, I think it's 432. Ooh, I'm good at zip codes, and now I'm blanking. But
I can look.
43207 is around Groveport, but that also has areas more towards German Village and north. But there, I think Whitehall. You can get into White. Actually, we didn't talk about Whitehall. That's also on the east side, just about a 10-minute drive from downtown.
Sometimes you can get lucky and get a house in South Bexley, which is still Bexley City Schools.
Yeah, I mean, and condos. Don't forget condos. So if you're open to the condo route, that opens opportunities.
Yeah, that's a great.
That's
Great
not
option.
normally available at that price point. You can get into areas for less if you're willing to share some walls.
Yeah. Hey, Scarlett, how are you? I haven't
love
talked to
that
you in
name.
forever. Yes.
I love that name.
One condo building that I can think of in a really good school district that people really want is Summit Chase. The only problem is there your condo fees are really high and they're going to be
and-
higher than your mortgage. But
Well, and
But that's
the,
something to watch for.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Not even just Summit Chase, but in especially newer condo developments aren't that bad. Older condo developments are the ones with higher fees because older buildings come with higher costs.
well, Joel sent me one. It was a freestanding condo and gorgeous, huge house in Upper Arlington Schools, I think it was. Couldn't figure out, like, just looking at the listing initially, I'm like, well, why is this house below $400,000? Well, it's because the condo fees were well over $1,200 a month.
There's a little spot in Little Turtle that I used to live in Little Turtle, and the condos you can get, around 150, but the condo fees are, around 400 a month.
this,
But
Right.
it's a really nice community.
Well, in that instance, I think what you need to do is you need to evaluate, are you getting what you want from the amenities? So, if they have a gym and a pool, do you still need to pay for your gym membership?
Right.
And, if in some instances they're covering your lawn care or some utilities,
And
so.
especially when they cover the outside.
Yeah.
You're not worrying about.
There's a
paying for your
condo
roof
complex
and-
here.
Oh, I don't have condos pulled in.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's for exposed condos.
oh, but look how cute this
Similar
house
to
is.
Summit Chase, there's one
I
right
know.
outside Franklin Park Conservatory. It's a high rise, and now the building name is escaping me.
What is that?
You
Park-
can get those Parkview.
Parkview.
Perfect.
Parkview. You can get those for under $100,000,
It
but the
is
condo fees are very similar to
43,219.
Summit Chase, where the condo fees are
That's
high.
like a great.
So when you're factoring in payment, if you want to payment, you're payment sensitive, in this price point most people are, look at your condo fees because condo fees will run probably starting at 150. I would say on average maybe up to 200 to 300 in this price range, but it varies by condo. So you're going to want to check that because that will also get factored into your payment. The nice thing I will say about a condo though is that fee is going to include your common area maintenance, your exterior of the building, and those kinds of things. So whereas in a house, there's a lot of exterior repairs that aren't going to be part of your payment, but are still going to be part of your responsibility. So you save money over the long run because most people don't. As much as I'd love to say I'm the smart home buyer guy, that throws like 10% of my mortgage into savings for these things every month, like a condo fee would do.
Mm-hmm.
Things come up when you own a home outside the home.
Yeah.
And actually, those are the bigger expenses usually. So the condo fee includes most of that stuff. So that's the nice thing about that is it's less of a
Yes.
obligation and a what's the word I'm looking for here?
Responsibility.
Yes, thank you. That's exactly the word. That's exactly.
You're paying what's the word? You're paying for it one way or another, which way you want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and you're paying for it up front in a condo. Now, assessments come up where there's not enough money in reserves to pay for big repairs and stuff.
I mean, if you're going to get into a condo or a homeowners association, I would always recommend to folks to get involved in that if you want to have any say in the direction or how things are going, or making sure that there's enough reserve and all that sort of stuff. Because otherwise, I mean, they're going to vote on it and it's going to happen, and you have no control.
Yeah.
It's like I said, if you don't vote, you can't complain.
Yes, just like any election.
Mm-hmm.
We won't get on that topic, but
I don't want to know.
politics. We're not going to get it.
That's not allowed
We've
in here.
determined our office as a politics-free zone, just because
Yes,
Even though we do go there sometimes.
we do.
we do. And then we're like, oh wait, we forgot the rule.
Amongst ourselves where we're comfortable, but it's such a sensitive thing. It's just not worth it anymore. But so I think we've covered the primary areas. Northwest of Central Ohio from downtown. 43229 I think is a good zip code. Where you can find some really good places.
Oh, Delaware. Delaware's a hot spot.
Well, Delaware.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'll say about Delaware, if you get under 200, it's probably going to be an old home. It's going to be
Yeah.
near downtown.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to need work. So you can get in under 200, but be prepared to spend some more money. Once you
So
get there.
right now, and I have the whole MLS pulled up. I've got nothing,
Nothing filtered.
no parameters. It's everything.
Is that just single family?
It's single family
Okay.
homes, not condos, but I have distressed properties in there and no contingencies on everything. There are 1,561 homes, 200,000 and
Yes.
below. So it is. I mean, there's nothing in Marysville actually.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
That's surprising.
No.
look, guys, there's nothing in Marysville.
I'm actually very surprised by that.
Yeah, I kind of am too, actually.
But Marysville has a lot of industry.
They
there.
are, yeah. Well,
So there's a lot of stuff happening in Marysville and a lot of development going that way.
there is even Plain City. There's nothing.
What I think what you find is, I mean,
So-
Very
there's
surprised.
Yeah.
aside from certain pockets,
Some very
if you
nice.
start with the center of Columbus here or the center of any big city here, the further away you go, you're going to get more house for less money. So if you're willing to go, further out to further stretching suburbs, or maybe a little more rural, or maybe an area that's improving, like some areas on the south
Gentrifying
side.
areas. Franklinton.
Oh, Franklinton is the hot
Franklinton.
spot for
East of
gentrification
315
right now.
is going to see the first batch of improvement, and then they'll move west.
So I'm telling you, on the Franklinton topic, I mean, you've got to be willing to live through the early stages. But if you're an early adopter, I think there's so much public-private investment that's happening over there.
I will tell you, there are
that is
some.
an area that 10 years from now you won't recognize.
Yeah.
And that's just prophesizing here, but I really think that's an area that's going to change significantly.
It will definitely.
And with that, it's going to come improved home values. I've heard a lot of people say it's the next short north. I wouldn't go there.
I would.
But I mean,
There's
and
only one short north.
let me
you
change.
can't,
Let me
you know.
let me rephrase that.
It doesn't
I
even
think
vary
people
much.
people home wise make that comparison. There was infrastructure in the short north, Victorian Village, Italian Village in particular, of huge homes, that were diamonds in the rough waiting. There are some of those in Franklin, but generally the homes that are sitting there waiting to be remodeled and rehabbed in Franklinton are much smaller.
They're smaller, but
So they're not $1 million home
No.
sitting there waiting for someone to make
No.
$1 million home.
But I would
But
bet
a
250,
solid,
300
yeah.
at some point.
Oh, already.
easily.
I mean, there's already
Yeah.
some that are fetching crazy prices. But
There's, I've driven through there. I've been looking in there I've had clients looking in there, so I have been in there, and there are a lot of as a person, it kind of like you see homes in disrepair and boarded up, and but there's so much potential.
But you go 3 doors down and there's this beautiful home.
It's block to block here, and for my people, and I don't know that you guys have, but I've got obviously people. It's not obvious. I have people from outside of the Columbus area watching, and Columbus is, and I'm sure everywhere, but it's a block to block kind of thing here. You know, you'll have $300,000, 400 and up.
Old Town East is the perfect example of that.
Absolutely. Across the street, you've got, not that.
And just like what you're seeing in Franklinton, you're seeing the same thing on the south side, down the Parsons Avenue corridor,
Yeah.
Southern Orchards, those areas, Old Oaks.
Oh, by Nationwide Children's.
Yeah, by Nationwide Children's
Yeah.
Hospital. I mean, when I
The King Lincoln District.
King Lincoln
Yeah.
District. I mean, I sold a house in Southern Orchards earlier this year that you hardly saw anything going for 200 and above, and now I keep getting alerts for listings that are 200
Yeah.
and above. But you can still get houses, but once again, just like Franklinton, they're going to need some work.
Yeah.
That's that's an investment, right?
And so ultimately, my suggestion here is if you want a list of homes under 200,000, send us a message.
Yeah.
We'll gladly send you a list and let you explore.
Comment, say, I want that list.
Yeah. Put add a comment, on this post, and we'll gladly send you a list.
Yeah.
There's never
Private
pressure.
message.
You'll send it. Private message us, however you want to do it, and then we'll get you a list and let you explore on your own, your comfort level, and where you might want to live.
If you want to sneak in there and see what it says.
It says
Do they want a list?
Brandon Lay has a rent versus buy comparison for 200,000. So Amanda has a lender. I'm assuming that is, who has provided a comparison. So if you want something like that too, the difference for you of how much it costs to rent versus buy is another good comparison. So Brandon, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Brandon.
And we'll any of us will gladly share that as well, as long as
If
Amanda's
you'll share it
willing.
with us.
If Amanda's willing to share it. Hashtag Brandon
However, we
follows.
have or maybe we can Google. I don't know. You can Google that information, probably. No.
So, anyways, I think with that, let's call it a wrap.
Oh.
This is another Wine Wednesday in the books.
One and done.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, everyone. Oh, should we make an announcement about Amanda? Since she's here.
Yes, we said that
We
last
couldn't
week.
do it last week.
Amanda is now officially a 43 homie. She's part of 43 homes. We couldn't say that last week, but she is now.
She wasn't.
She's one of us. We hooked her in, and we're happy to have her as part of our family. Yeah, you reeled it in. So we're super excited to have her. Please say hello and welcome her to our fun little group here. And you'll see more of her with us. So have a great rest of your Wednesday and rest of the week.
Cheers,
and
everybody.
We'll see you same place next time.
Same place, same time next week, everyone.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Cheers.
We out.
With
That
that,
was
43
really,
homes
really hit.
out.
So who's? Wait, is that your laptop in the center? I'm gonna have to.